video, we'll go through how to indicate that there was a healthcare exemption on the tax return. So before beginning the healthcare coverage part of the tax return, you'll want to complete all other sections of the return. So you want to enter all the income information and complete everything else and leave the ACA section for last. So once that's been done, you'll start on the 1040 ACA worksheet. And in this particular situation, we have a household size of 5 people, and 4 of the people had what's called minimum essential coverage for the entire year of 2014. And that's indicated by the check marks, the marks in the full column here for Linda, Anthony, Annette, and Bradley. Now, in our interview with the family, you found out that Julie Harvards actually did not have MEC for the entire year. So we can't check the box full. We could potentially check the box none here, but you would do that if she didn't have MEC all year and she also didn't qualify for an exemption. And that would calculate a penalty on her return, on the return. So before doing that, we actually want to see if she's eligible for an exemption. So you would check the box for exemption here. And then going over to your forms tree, you would click on the 8965, which is red here. That's the health coverage exemptions form. So there are a few different sections to this form. At the top, this section is for entering marketplace granted exemptions. And we have seen some of these forms come from with clients from from healthcare.gov, and basically it indicates the name and social of the person receiving the exemption, and it also provides an exemption certificate number. So if you do get one of those forms, you can enter that information here in part 1 of the exemptions form. More commonly, we're using parts 2 and 3 of this form to see if there are exemptions that the household is eligible for that we can claim on the tax return. So part 2 is looking at whether the family's household or gross income is below the filing threshold. And you can find filing threshold information in your 4012, but on this form you also see that the filing threshold is listed here. So this is a married filing jointly, a couple filing a return with their children, and so their filing threshold is listed right here, so you actually don't need to go to the 4012 for that. Now we have two different incomes here. We have household income and gross income, and conveniently the household income is listed here as well. And gross income, there's an estimated gross income here, which generally will be correct. You can also refer to, we have an income, definitions of income sheet on our CTC resources page. So you can look here, and there are definitions of these things here as well. So in this situation, the household income and the gross income were above the filing threshold, so we would check no for each of these. And then we proceed to part 3 at the bottom here, and we would look at our exemptions sheet, which this came in your 4012, and then there was an updated version that was came out a few weeks ago. So you'll want to make sure that you have the updated version in your 4012 now. So this lists all of the possible healthcare exemptions. Most of these are ones that will be claimed on the tax return. And the most common ones we're seeing in the sites are code G. This, your household income was below 138% of the federal poverty line, and that's an exemption that's particular to states that didn't expand Medicaid, and Texas is one of those states. So you'll be seeing a lot of these, and we're also seeing a lot of code C, especially for our clients that have I-10s, for clients that are not U.S. citizens, not U.S. nationals, and not an individual lawfully present in the U.S. You'll want to check and see if code C might be an option for them. So in the case of Julie Harvards, she does have a Social Security number. But in looking at her income, we see, her AGI was $25,075 last year. And so let's just check if that was below 138% of the poverty level. So again, if you go to our CTC resources page, you'll see there's a chart of 138% of FPL. And they have a household size of 5, so this is the amount we're looking at here. And clearly her income from last year was below that, so that means we can give her an exemption code G. And so you would just enter her name here, enter her social, enter code G, and we can give her the exemption for the entire year. So you would just check that box. And once that's done, then she's exempted from paying the penalty on her tax return for not having insurance for the whole year.